to Ballydorn. Little issue with the start of the stream there, but we are good to go now. We are back to, well, cutting up some lumber. I went ahead and cut up some logs while we were gone. And what we're going to do is we've also accepted a fertilization contract. Now that we actually have a tractor, I've leased a sprayer or a spreader, and we're not going to have to borrow equipment anymore. We use our little Ursus to do our fertilization contracts. Try to get the most out of this darn little thing. These forks are actually working fairly good. There we go. 2 logs. Hey Roy. Hey Cohen. What's up? I tried selling a log this length without cutting it. Wanted to see what kind of price I would get versus taking the time to cut it in half. Hey Anthony. Yeah, I'm getting just a little bit more money cutting it in half than I was selling it whole. Hey Matthew, what's up? Logs in here. I need to try to figure out how to get out. Then we are going to let me turn the game sound down. It's a little loud. Probably gonna get a winch. I'm gonna winch at some point and use that. Hey David, what's up? Let's sell this one whole. Keep this one shorter. Shorter than the first one. Maybe I did. You never know. All these trees, I don't know if it's forks, tractor, or something. Hey, Light Night with Bull, what's up? See, that was just $672. When we cut them in half, we got 700 and some. Oh no! Alright, good. Don't fall over. Turn this thing off. What is my opinion of the newly announced DLC? Well, I think, to be honest with you, I'm a little disappointed with it. I mean, it's got 3 air seeders, 2 air seeder carts, a big weeder, big cultivator, and a John Deere 9 RT. That's it. So the air seeders range in are like 9 meters or 8 meters wide, 23 meters wide, and 30 and a half, I think. I mean, they're just another brand of basically like the seed hauler. So we already have, from a standpoint of replication, we already have this one, 18 meters. This one, which is 25.6. The new DLC includes one that is 8 meters. It's less than this horse, but it is with a big seed cart like this. Then we have one that is 23 meters, a little narrower than this one. Then we have one that I think is 30 and a half meters, still a little bit bigger than this one. 2 seed carts, one that is just a bit smaller than this one, and one that is like 45,000 capacity, so it's a bit bigger than this. Then we have a huge disc harrow, I think, is like 30 meters. Okay, so it's substantially bigger than any of the other disc harrows. We do have big cultivators. I mean, it's kind of like this. Looks like this, only supposedly it's 30 meters. 18, I mean, that thing must be huge. Then we've got the John Deere 9 RT, right, or whatever. The equivalent of Case Quad Track in the John Deere variant. That was ranging from what, like 500 horsepower to 670 or something. Not really bringing anything new other than a different brand and a different John Deere. Hey Chevy, what's up? So it is only what, $7.99? Not a whole lot. Again, what's it really bring other than, oh, there's a large weeder. Huge, like 30. That disc harrow isn't a disc harrow, it's a 30 meter weeder. The inclusion, my take on the inclusion of the John Deere is it just feels like, was the John Deere included basically to sell the pack? John Deere there, just like the supposed John Deere Cotton DLC that only included one John Deere component. and 5 McCormick items. Why wasn't it called the McCormick DLC? Almost feels like the John Deere was tossed in there as a token. All right, all the fanboys will buy it now that may not have bought it before. Hey, William, what's up? Yeah, of course. Take a look at it yourself. Form your own opinion. I was thinking that the straw harvest was going to become a DLC, part of one of these 3 DLCs. So when this was announced as the first of the 3 additional, a little disappointed in that if it was indeed going to be one of the official DLCs, that meant we were going to have to wait until May, June, July time frame. Even though supposedly they had posted on their Facebook that the straw harvest stuff was in console and PC testing. So maybe the straw harvest isn't going to be basically one of those 3 official DLCs. Maybe it's somehow something else. Plates, wires, and batteries. So I had thought I had heard that it was planned for the end of the first quarter, and if you think of first quarter as in January through March, then that's right around the same time frame that this is supposedly coming out, the end of the first quarter. So, yeah, a little disappointing. Basically, my general gameplay is not huge equipment. Fart Ninja, it's far more than just. So, yeah, ignore the name, alright? So, what it is it includes it's basically, let's basically call it a Crone DLC, okay? So it includes a Crone round baler that lets you change the size of the bales and the volume of the bales without any sort of bale volume modifier. There is a big square baler from Crone. There is a Bale Accumulator trailer for the square baler from Crone that allows you to basically, it collects 3 square bales and dumps them side by side on the ground. You bale up 3 more, collects them, dump 3 more side by side on the ground. It includes telehandler, wheel loader, and front loader grabbers to grab those 3 bales side by side, pick them up, and put them on a trailer side by side. Thanks for the sub, Little Farmer. It includes a pellet press that allows you to collect straw on the ground or hay on the ground. Pick it up with the addition of molasses, form it into a pellet, and then you can take the pellets to a placeable factory where you can put the pellets into a machine and it forms pellet pallets that you can then sell at a sell point, or you can use those pellets as feed. That's how it worked in 17. There may have been 1 or 2 other aspects to it. It was called straw harvest because it basically gave you something else to do with the straw other than to just bale it. Mr. Dio, I don't really know. I don't really mess with mods too much. Shouldn't be too hard if you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing, lots of stuff isn't hard. If you don't know what you're doing, then obviously it can get difficult. I've not seen any there's no mod, Matthew, that does that. There are maps that include multi-fruit. Not seen a map that includes rice. It's not old. No, the straw harvest isn't old stuff. Modern equipment. That I agree, Roy. Here there should be, needs to be smaller root crop equipment. More affordable root crop equipment. Basically search straw harvest for Farm Sim 17, and that's basically what you're going to get. And this time around, it's supposed to be also available for console. And we know the only way to console is through the Giants Modhub. Oh, wrong road again. So that's kind of why I figured it was going to be a Giants DLC. Thanks for the donation there, William. Well, this contract's going to pay us $4 grand, and since we're using our own equipment now, we're not going to lose any of it to borrowing fees. Making our way over to field 25, which is over by the main farm, but the only way to get there is this road. think you mentioned that the other time that he was in the hospital. He recovers fairly quick. Oh, I don't know about the timer. Kind of like the idea of not having a timer. From the standpoint of, I mean, having the old way of doing a harvest contract was a little ridiculous, where the harvester basically had an unlimited fill capacity. You never had to unload it, you just harvested. I like how this one, you have to harvest and transport the grain. And the fact that you can either use your own equipment or their equipment. You know, you couldn't do that, I don't think, in 17. Well, I guess you could use your own equipment, but the harvest, the equipment for the contract always spawned in. The fact that you can now choose to use your own equipment means that if there was a timer, if you didn't have equipment big enough, then you would fail the contract, and that's not right. I like having to haul things. I don't think it makes it any more realistic or less realistic with the timer. I like the fact that you could do like what I'm doing here is I've got super cheap hardware. Means it's taking me a little longer to do this field. I've got really low overhead. And as a result, I just got, you know, $3,000. Now I can go fertilize field 31, or I would lose $820, borrow that stuff. Now I can do it without borrowing. Well, yeah, because Nebraska is big. I think the smallest field on Nebraska is 7 acres. Right? It's probably, well, 7 acres isn't the biggest field on this map, but it's pretty darn close to the biggest. $90 million. Do you play on easy? Oh no! Let's hit 9. Yeah, contracts are really great for trying out equipment. For sure. Oh, yeah, compost will do it. DCS 101 likes his compost. Who's missing? How much silage filled it? I don't remember how big the bunkers are on Lone Oak. $5 million in silage. Chevy, I think he's just lack of motivation, lack of interest. Attention elsewhere. Lots of reasons. There is our sawmill over there. Well, yeah, he's got some interesting functions and features in Sandy Bay. Be interesting to see how it performs, specifically with consoles. If he's got the with the animated AI farmers working fields, they'll be kind of, I think, distance fields off beyond the map boundary. Still, it'll be interesting to see how much that impacts performance. Right. Quick $6,000. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of how he's implemented the changes on Medicine Creek. I'm glad he's implemented those from popular demand. Just not a big fan of how he implemented them. I think it's just going to be causing them pork grief. I've seen it time and time again. Different. People aren't going to read, they're not going to research, they're just going to get frustrated, and then they're going to blame the map for being broken. But, you know, it's his map. It's his creative vision. So it is how it is. Yep, this is where I want to go. Wait, no. Oh, missed my turn. Oh, there is? I have to take a look. I've got a fair amount of DLC from the bundle. Nowhere near close to, you know, any big percentage. But I'm mostly interested in US stuff, and probably mostly of the US stuff, East Coast stuff. I know who's waiting for East Coast USA. Hey, Scooter's Workbench, what's up? I did see the ETS engine thing. Sounded interesting. So this is the Ursus C360. It is part of the Polish pack, way back from the mod contest. Polish pack includes all kinds of Ursus and Zetor tractors, including this little bad boy here for 16,000. Get it with a cab or without. Different wheels. So I got it with the fat wheel, wide wheels with weights, and a loader attacher. Maybe they, I don't know. Why do you think maybe they don't appeal to you? They just don't feel right? Or you're just looking for a different environment than what you're used to? Well, it's not hard to miss. I mean, it's part of that big Polish pack from summer of 18 or summer of 19, last summer. I got it because I was basically looking for something that was going to be cheap. And I knew that the Polish pack, basically I saw it. We're leasing the tractor at the moment. So I guess you could say the bank owns it. There we go. Well, that would be lease to own. Lease to own would be cool, right? The ability to buy something used. You know, maybe buy it with like 100 engine hours on it. And maybe if you buy it used, it's cheaper, but it maybe goes through fuel a little more. Maybe it's a little down on power. Maybe there's a multiplier to maintenance costs or something. But for the starting farmer, buying used is all you can do. You have to kind of make the trade-off. Hey Darren, what's up? Oh. You get hung up in the little trees. Did I cut this one? I don't think I did. Oh. Didn't cut this one. Yeah, I don't do a lot of forestry either. Mostly because my favorite forks never really converted to 19. There was what I kind of call a unsanctioned conversion of those forks, so I'm not using that. There was supposed to be a conversion, an authorized conversion, by the guy that did them in 17, but never seen it. I think maybe he just got disgruntled, unmotivated. Weird collision going on again. I have to say, these little forks have been outstanding. Hardly any issues in picking anything up. Seem to close well around the log. Giving them praise, and then that one gets stuck. Go. Oh, the grasshopper? Yeah, that was never anything I was that interested in. Oh, look at that. A little heavy. A little heavy with the two big logs. How much all these bring us? There we go. So what else is everybody playing nowadays? Going to be bringing some other games into the channel in March. interested what other folks are into recently. $19.58. That'll be $5,000. Not too bad. I mean, it didn't take that long to do all that. Fun for a little bit, then it was like, okay, I can't control anything. Like putting a fertilizer spreader on the back of a trailer, and then turning it on. Then you don't have your speed limit. Yeah, what I was gonna do is I've got Anno 1800, put a few hours into it, and then I got sidetracked. I was going to bring that back into the channel in March. Then I had a really good deal on Frostpunk, and I decided to do that one instead. So if you're in the Discord, I just posted right before the stream in the early access channel the first episode of Frostpunk. Interested to hear some folks' opinions on it before it goes live in March. I think they're probably, count on crops, I think they're a few milestones away from full release. I did a very little bit of Surviving Mars when I was on a trip. I needed a game that would run on my laptop. And Surviving Mars was old enough and it wasn't that demanding. I didn't get too far into it. I actually ended up switching over to Northgard. I had that on the laptop too. Well, I'll tell you, I've got a whopping maybe 7 hours into it. Maybe 5 hours into it. Not a huge amount. I definitely have not finished, the first scenario. I think it is challenging. There are some unique aspects to it beyond just the normal hunter-gatherer city building, production chain type of a thing. The art style is really, really nice. That steampunky conceptual idea. The music in it is just really nice. I think if you're on Xbox Game Pass, I think Raznik was saying that it was on Xbox Game Pass. If you're a subscriber to that, then you could just install it as part of that service. I had, it's pseudo like Anno 1800, right? Kind of. Sorta. So I was looking to bring Anno back into the channel a little bit. Didn't realize I'd only had really ever done one, maybe stream of it. I'd say the big problem with American trucks is a lot of them are so poor quality, such high polygon count. They don't really have any sort of interior. On some maps you could do that. I don't know if we can do it on this one or not. I'll have to take a look when we get back over there. we were speaking of Medicine Creek, I saw Old Guy Farmer had put some videos out on Medicine Creek where he deleted all of the trees and was then going to go back and replant them all by hand in the GTX Sapler hand plant saplings mod. So no, this map doesn't have the water trigger, I don't think, on the water. Dan is having issues with frames. I don't know if getting rid of the trees helped them out, but I really think 19 has a problem with trees and being optimized. Even with my old system, if I'd go into a map that had really, really dense forest, I would have issues with performance when I was around those trees. Really, there shouldn't have been any reason. Oh, look at that. Shouldn't have really been any reason for that. It's the gift that keeps on giving. It's the 2-for-1 sale here at the Sawmill Tree Factory. Go. Do what you gotta do, right? $21,000. Do a transport. Lease this. Flatbed trailer. And get the alot forks. Here. $40. You'll have to look in the log and see what the log says about that. Probably like invalid mod desk. So here the Giants is going to be updating the Platinum DLC to fix the Scorpion issue. Maybe next week. What I'm hearing. The Scorpion doesn't allow you to refuel it. Doesn't have a fuel trigger. It's a minor oversight on an official Giants DLC. Nothing major, right? What do you call old school equipment? So many trees down here so close together. Be kind of interesting to delimb them. I remember watching somebody on YouTube back when I was learning how to play 17, delimbing trees like this, and I was like, that is so cool. So did you get the game from Giants directly, or? Obviously, if you have Steam copy, that should auto update, unless you have it turned off. Oh. Just like real life, chainsaws can get kind of annoying. Annoying to listen to. There's a lot of bad old equipment mods on PC. Poorly optimized, full of errors. Visually, they don't look very good. All right. Oh, I got that. Got these all up. These are all short logs, short trees. Only really need to cut once. That one. Here. Love me the measure mod. Okay. I've already gotten that one. Already got this one or not? That. Yeah, the old Polish pack. That's what I've got here in this one. Yeah, that's what's really disappointing with a lot of the Facebook communities is they've gone closed. I suspect they've gone closed because they want to establish some sort of sense of community. And when you got people that just jumping in, looking to grab mods, not really be a participant of the community, get annoying having tons of people constantly ask, where can I get your mods from? Knowing that they're just there to get the mods and leave and never really become an active participant. At the same point, hoping that you're cool enough to be in the crowd, in the club, if you will, isn't overly motivating either. I don't know if the Polish pack was ever updated for console support or not. As part of the mod contest, was PC only, but it may have been updated to bring console support. I will cut this. Go ahead and be interesting to see if today, during this stream, we can basically sell the rest of these logs here on the little sawmill island. We should then have enough money to move over and buy the larger forestry area. This forestry area is $70,000. Maybe not. This one's $80,000. I thought. Well, we could sell that 27,000, and we've got 21,000, so that's 48,000. And we could buy parcel of land, or just buy the horse farm for 30 grand. Yeah, that Modern Classics was a nice pack. You gotta wonder if the Modern Classics Harvester was any of the motivation around the old New Holland making its way into this game. This is an Irish map. We're playing with the Dublin Geo. I guess part of the reason why it's only 52 degrees in the middle of in early summer. Gonna have to get fuel for this tractor soon. Do one more log. I guess we could haul some more logs before we get to fuel. We're using the more fuel usage mod. And with the enhanced vehicle, you can see that when we have any sort, when we rev the engine, we're using 10, 15 liters an hour or more. Got 9 liters in the fuel tank. And the fuel tank only holds 35 liters anyway. That's why we only have 1.3 engine hours, and we're already at a quarter tank of gas. Oh! I don't know what work RPM mod is. No, we're not using that. When we rev the engine, we're up to like 40 liters an hour. If we're full bore, got less than an hour of engine. Oh, we only need to run down to the shop, which really isn't that far. Get fuel. We'll probably get fuel at the end of the stream. I thought the game already revved the engine when you turn on the PTO. This is a standard size map, but it's technically a fraction of a standard size map as far as the playable area goes. A nice map with small fields. In the mod hub, that mod is. Hey, Bruno, what's up? You. 4 logs. Probably could if I didn't have them all stuck underneath each other. I have to look. Okay, well, yeah. The one thing I'm doing with this series is it's just Modhub mods with very few exceptions. So if it was in the Modhub, then I might toss it in. If it's not in the Modhub, then I probably wouldn't, because I wouldn't want to make an exception for a mod that I'm not familiar with. Yeah, that's just a scrape site. Couldn't download anything from there. Oh, thanks, Bruno. A little less interactive with chat tonight, just because I'm trying to pay attention to the front loader. Load up the logs. We're trying to earn money as best we can here. On the old Ballydorn. How do I put the rear weights on this tractor? Like these wide front tires. This mod is really cool because we've got, we don't just have an animated pulleys. We've got animated belts with the little belt labels on them and everything. Perfect little starting tractor. So on a map like this, you can kind of get away with a tractor this small. You know, it won't take you ages upon ages to do any work. Nope. Probably not, because that would be a script. The only way it would probably show up on console would be for them to add it to the next version of the game. And I'll tell you, manual attach is buggy. It's not all that it's made out to be. Depending on the vehicle, depending on the implement, it could work excellent, or it could work very badly. It wouldn't be for console. Manual attach is a script. Did cut that one log the little nub. Oh, we hit a collision. Stumps. Watch out for stumps. Oh, well, that's his modding whelp building pack that he likes to use. Bernie put collisions on flowers for whatever reason. On the placeable flower beds, basically. So, I mean, he could go in. He could go in the editor and basically pick a box to disable collisions. If I remember, I might mention that. I'm not really sure what. I think you uncheck rigid body or something in editor and save it. Probably an XML value that you would just flip in the XML would be the same thing. Rigid value, rigid body is true or something. Yeah, see? You did it. We're gonna need to get fuel. I don't want to get too much further down. All right, David, thanks for dropping by. And at full rev, we're going to use a liter or two on the way down there. Hey, Bert, what's up? Intel HD 5500, that's, what's that, integrated graphics? Yeah, look at that. Going up this hill, we're pulling 50 liters an hour. There's no real neat reason to buy the winch now. Well, what did Bert give us something to complain about? What were we complaining about? I think it's those front loaders. Those loader arms have a weird collision. Not having any trouble steering with without it. Oh, the flowers. The collisions. We need to remind Raz that he can open them up in GE and just uncheck that and save it and fix his problem. Also put slower refueling in. Takes a little while to fuel up their tractor. Not too much, but a little bit of time. Okay, using the slower refueling mod and the mobile fuel maintenance trailer. Wow, that takes a long time to fill up. It's like start the pump, flip the little the hand nozzle flip so it stays open, and then go order yourself a lunch. Have a nice lunch, read the paper. Maybe stop by and get an ice cream cone. Then go back and check your tank. And you see our the red phone box. Give you a little bit of a clue where the map is based. Overall, this idea of the sawmills worked out pretty good. Only had $2,000, I think, after we leased the tractor and bought the chainsaw and everything. Now we're up to almost 30,000. Plus the 27 that we've got invested in the sawmill. So if we sold that, we'll be up to 50-some thousand. Hey, Revertus, what's up? go ahead and so we used up 2 liters of fuel on our way back from getting fuel. Yeah, Bert, I used that tactic quite a lot in 17, but like I said, I haven't done a lot of manual forestry in 19 because my favorite log forks never showed up. Well, they showed up in an unauthorized version that I refused to use. So oh, cool. These forks aren't bad. Hey, Farmer John, what's up? You're seeing me run through a pedestrian. You're way behind. Sky is falling. Depends on which sky you're talking about. Sky in the southern hemisphere is below you. So how about that? Well, you know what? Maybe I can go around this way. It's closer. Payphone, booze. Why would you use a payphone, Dad? You just have a phone in your pocket. Back in the day when, you know, you were out, you were actually away. Well, I'm sorry, I'll have them return your message because they're out in town. They went to the grocery store. They'll be back in about an hour. I have them call you back then. Nobody remembers numbers anymore, right? I like to joke about this time I ordered Chinese, right? Local Chinese place, so we get Chinese from all the time. Get a pickup. So I go to pick it up and they say, "What's your number?" Because, you know, that's how they all say things. "What's your number?" I said, "I don't know." They said, "We get that a lot." I said, "Well, quit asking." "I don't know my number. Don't call it." Three-digit numbers. Well, I would say that, well, depending on where you are in the country, wasn't, I mean, we're talking maybe 40, 30 years ago still, but you know, there were some folks that still had what they call party lines, where you might have 10 people, maybe not 10 people. You have some number of houses all on the same line. It's basically a shared line. And each house had its own distinctive type of ring, from what I understand. So you waited, you listened to hear your type of ring, and that was a call for you. If you wanted to make a call, you might pick up and you might hear someone already on the phone. Some other house, so basically you had to wait until they were done. Depending on where you were in the country, yeah. Go this way with this load. Well, I don't know. I think the person I heard it from was lived in West Virginia. So depending on where you were in West Virginia, then you would be potentially a bit further behind with changes just because of the population density. You know, if there was only 10 houses down a 12-mile stretch of road, for example, I missed who that was. Thanks for the sub, whoever that was. I just missed it. Got these 3 pieces left. I mean, there's areas that don't have cable. For sure, in my neck of the woods now. We bought a college I work for bought a horse farm probably about 10 years back, and they needed to get internet service and everything out there to it. So we figured the cheapest way of doing that would be to get Comcast business class internet. So we rang them up, gave them the address, and they basically said, well, we don't have service. Closest service is about 4 miles away in either direction. So, you know, if you want to pay 30 grand plus the monthly fee, we'll build the network out to you. There's basically like an 8-mile stretch of road where this horse farm is. It doesn't have the capability of having cable, so they have a choice of either satellite or antenna. That's still now, 2020. And yeah, satellite internet isn't so hot. Dial-up is obviously terrible. DSL is bad. I mean, my parents had satellite internet for a while, well after I moved out. And, you know, when they had it, basically, it still used a phone line to like send the request. You know, like requesting the pages was slow. Once the pages started to load, it was a little quicker. All right, there we go. So $33,000. I just got rid of all of the, got a couple logs over there we can't get to. We need the winch. We'll just probably leave them. That's where we're going to stop it for the night. So thank you guys for coming out and watching us. We'll be back here on Ballydorn at the latest next week. We'll have to figure out what we're going to do at this point because we don't have the cash. Even if we sell the sawmill, that'll give us $60,000, right? We need 80 there, 69,000 to own that one. Won't even have enough money to own that one. Oh, well, look, we could buy field 17. We could buy a field. "17 has planted in it. Nothing. "15 has nothing in it. Not like we could even buy a field at this point. It has crop growing in it. So we'll figure out what we're doing next time. And until next time, happy farming.